What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. With the latest Assassin's Creed Shadows update, Ubisoft added something I honestly did not expect this early, but I absolutely love it: fire and frost damage. And you already know me, the moment new afflictions drop, I'm jumping straight into the game, mixing gear, testing engravings and breaking things in the best possible way. So today I've got another overpowered build for you guys. This one is for Naoe and it's called the Fire Onryo. A brutal, high damage build that turns entire enemy groups into a spreading Inferno. So in this video I will showcase what this build can do and how to build it for yourself. But before heading in, if you like this type of content, make sure to leave a like, and for more Assassin's Creed Shadows builds, hit that subscribe button. So with that being said, let's get into it. The Fire Onryo build is all about raw damage output combined with the new fire damage over time mechanic. And what makes fire so insane right now is how it works compared to other afflictions. Firstly, once an enemy is afflicted, they take damage over time. Secondly, fire spreads automatically from enemy to enemy, so you don't need a special engraving to make it spread. And last, the build-up barely decays, at least not over a short time window. So once you light one enemy up, the whole group usually follows. It genuinely spreads like a wildfire, and that's exactly what this build is designed around. One very important thing to understand before we get into the gear: to convert an affliction into fire using the engraving "Normally affliction buildup is fire", your weapon must already have an affliction type on it. If the weapon has no affliction, the engraving simply does not work, and that detail is crucial for this build. In order to get your hands on the engraving that adds the fire buildup, just open chests in these storage buildings. After updating the game, it immediately dropped for me in one of these buildings in an enemy encampment. For this build we are going to use only epic gear. Reason for that is because we will be using a special engraving that adds a huge amount of damage, but only when using non-legendary or artifact gear. Also keep in mind that epic gear usually drops with various engravings. Therefore, in order to mimic this build, try to grind collecting weapons until you find some that match the engravings that we're using for this build. Starting off with the toxic katana of wounding. I picked the katana for a simple reason. I just love how it feels, and it delivers a very solid DPS. But more importantly, the weapon already comes with poison affliction, which allows us to convert it into fire using the engraving. On top of that, it has a plus 24% damage increase on combo enders, which fits perfectly with an aggressive, fast-paced playing style. Next up we got the toxic Kusarigama of reaping. This weapon is absolutely essential for this build. Its engraving gives a plus 28% of armor piercing damage when hitting afflicted enemies. And since enemies are almost always on fire, this bonus is active constantly. Just like the katana, we add normally affliction buildup as fire, to convert its original poison affliction into fire. The reason the Kusarigama is so important is because of its AoE potential. Its reach is insane, especially when paired with Cyclone's blast, which allows you to set entire groups on fire in a single ability use. For the mask I'm using the tool Apprentice mask. Its base engraving gives a plus 10% critical chance when hitting multiple enemies, which synergizes perfectly with the Kusarigama's wide attacks. On top of that, I added the legendary engraving from the No Master Stroke mask, which gives a plus 20% of an adrenaline chunk on affliction buildup. And this is huge. Because fire spreads so fast, this engraving lets you generate adrenaline extremely quick, making it easy to chain abilities back to back. And I obtained the mask from a gear vendor over here on the map next to Osaka Castle in the first region. The No Master Stroke mask can be obtained at this location on the map at the base of the viewpoint. For the armor I'm using the Tamakichi's gear. It has a rolled engraving that gives a plus 72% of armor damage when hitting multiple enemies, and again perfectly matching the AoE focused playing style of the Kusarigama. I also added an engraving that gives a plus 15% chance to make enemies vulnerable on impact, which comes from an Azure Serpent light armor that I got for free from the Animus exchange. And if you don't own that armor, no worries, just slot something that boosts either armor damage, armor piercing or overall melee damage. The Tamakichi's gear can be obtained by completing the Path of Wisdom and opening the chest at the end in Wakasa right over here on the map. For the trinket, I'm using the Unstoppable Giant. Its engraving gives a plus 28% of armor piercing when hitting afflicted enemies, which again is almost always active. I also added the legendary engraving from the Oni's Fury, which gives a plus 15% damage per non-legendary or artifact gear equipped. And since this build uses all epic gear, that's an easy plus 60% damage increase, which is absolutely massive. And to get the Oni's Fury, head to this den on the map and open the legendary chest inside. Also important for these builds are the mastery trees. For the Katana mastery tree, this is how mine looks. And the key abilities I've slotted here are Tidal Wave and God Breaker, because these help you quickly break armor and delete stronger enemies that survive the initial fire spread. Kusarigama mastery tree, this is the most important part of the entire build. Make sure you invest into the Cyclone's blast ability. This ability is the heart of the Fire Onryo. It's what lets you apply fire affliction to nearly every enemy in the area at once. The playstyle of this build is simple and extremely satisfying. First round up enemies, then unleash the Cyclone's blast with the Kusarigama. Watch the fire spread instantly, then clean up the survivors or just let them burn. This build absolutely melts groups, deletes armor and turns Naoe into a walking Inferno. So that is it for today's build video. Try this one out for yourself and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this build, drop a like, subscribe for more Assassin's Creed Shadows builds, and as always, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.